In this video, I'm going to be providing a brief introduction to Zinc 4 and building cross-platform desktop applications for Windows, Mac OS X and Linux with Flash and Flex. Zinc 4 is a development environment which takes an input SWF file created in either Flash Builder, Flash or Flex and compiles it into a 100% standalone desktop application for Windows, Mac or Linux. The product itself is available for Windows or Mac OS X. I'm using the Windows version here, but we'll also jump to the Mac version in just a sec. So the first thing we're going to do is select an input SWF file. I'm going to select this Flash ActionScript version of Asteroids, which will load up, and this is now created our Zinc project. We can see in the central WYSIWYG area representation of how our application is going to look on a Windows desktop. So we can move this around, change the size, etc. But these aspects are covered in a separate video. What I'm going to do now is very quickly just compile this with all the settings set to default. And this is taking our input SWF file and compiling it into a standalone application for Windows. The great thing about Zinc is it's designed to have as much functionality and flexibility as you would need in advanced usage, but it's also designed to work very quickly for novice and first-time users. So you can simply select your Flash project and compile it into a standalone application. So you can see at the bottom here in the log that it's compressed the projector, it's now launching the projector. Get this brief watermark because we're using the trial version. And here's our application. So this is a single executable. This can be distributed on CD, download, DVD, USB stick, any means we want. It will play on any system. It's not dependent on the Flash plugin. It's completely standalone. So this single executable file will play on any Windows machine. I can click play the game, and it just works and plays as it should. Need some more practice on that. So one of the key features of Zinc is that it's a cross-platform application development environment. So from this Windows environment, we can actually create the same application and compile it for Mac OS X and Linux in addition to Windows. We can actually cycle through the tabs across the bottom here, which will then give us the options and the WYSIWYG view for a Mac OS X application, and the same for Linux. And again, each platform can have separate options applied to the final executable, or they can share the same settings so that the application looks and works exactly as it does across all platforms. We call this cross-platform cross-compile. It's a fantastic feature which is exclusive to Zinc 4. You can literally compile for any of the applications from your chosen development platform. So if I switch to Mac OS X, this is the Mac OS X version of Zinc 4 Builder. You can see that the structure and the way the interface is built is identical to the Windows version. I'm going to go ahead and select the same SWF file. Go Asteroids. Again, you'll notice the Mac version in this case defaults to the Mac OS X WYSIWYG, as obviously it's detected we're on a Mac, but we can just as easily use the tabs to cycle through and build the application for Linux or Windows. So I'll give this a quick compile again so you can see the Mac version also running. There we go, the log tells us that the application's been compiled. And here it is, the same file now running on Mac OS X. Switch back to Windows, and you can see that I haven't touched any of the options on the left and the right hand side here. There are literally dozens of options which can be applied to your application. These again are all covered in a separate tutorial. And I just want to quickly touch upon one of the other key benefits of using Zinc to develop applications with Flash, and that is the extensive Zinc API. Zinc API is available online and also with the downloaded trial version. And the API consists of the classes listed here on the left hand side. So you can extend ActionScript with desktop specific commands across Windows, Mac OS X and Linux, which lets your application interact, manipulate the environment that it's hosted on. So we can do things, for example, on Mac, such as executing AppleScript. There are application commands which cover things like screensaver, an embedded library for your application, trial protection. We have audio commands for recording input microphone sound data. We have browser commands for embedding HTML content into your Flash application. There are database classes to connect to MySQL, Adobe, SQLite and Microsoft Access databases. And these are all connected locally on your system, so you have an immense amount of flexibility with what you can do outside of the realms of normal ActionScript. In fact, our API extends ActionScript 2 and ActionScript 3 with over 600 new commands, new methods and properties. And again, these are designed to be extremely flexible and advanced in usage, but also simple for first-time users. So if I take an example of a simple dialog to let the user select a file, the command is dialogs.browsefile.show, and with every single command in the API we provide example code. And again, the great thing about Zinc is you can literally just copy and paste this into your ActionScript code in Flash or Flex, and that's it. There's no other steps needed. To actually learn more about using the API and to see a working example, I highly recommend watching one of our quick start guides for ActionScript 2 or ActionScript 3, which actually go through this process in more detail. So this is it, a quick introduction to Zinc 4 and what it looks like on Windows and Mac OS X.